Hey, knock knock, Neo. Oh, and by that I mean welcome to the 205th episode of Sawdust Nation podcast. We are super excited to have you guys join us for another fantastic episode. I am Tim from Gears and Fire. With me, as always, is
Nat from
Nap.
Nat from Naps Works LLC. Hi guys.
Yeah. And
Hi,
Josh
Nap.
from North Country Woodworking.
Hi, Josh.
Howdy.
What you doing over there, Josh?
I'm playing on my ball.
Oh boy,
Anyway,
is that the only thing going on your side of the world?
my side of the world, I'm like south. Just like 7 hours
I know
south of
that's like far away.
Your weather's my weather, as we were discussing.
That is very true. So if my internet does go out, folks, I apologize.
Yeah, so if Tim and I
That's
just disappear, it's all going to be nap because we are having bad weather this way.
It's an episode.
What?
Yeah, welcome, Nap.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my side of the world, what I'm doing, well, let's see. This last weekend, I decided to get back into camping / fishing realm. So we went out. I say cool. We, a coworker and I, a good friend of mine. I'm like, hey, let's do something crazy. Let's get our tents out, and I have a john boat. Let's go fishing. So
I'm excited that I heard you say tent and not like 27-foot living room on wheels.
No, yeah, we definitely went. We had everything because so this is the first time I've gone out in a while, and like I've never gone with him, and we'd never gone to the spot, so I pretty much brought all my camping gear, but it was in my truck, and I just brought out things as we needed them. That way we had them. But it was kind of feeling out the area, feeling out, where we're going to go fishing, what have you. So Friday, we get out of work, we go home, pack my truck, and then he packs his truck. We meet, and then we head to the campsite, which is only like 30 minutes away. And so we head there.
Now, is this a place your coworker has been to?
Nope. We both brand new. We did call ahead. Yeah. We called Bob, which is the guy running the area, asked him some questions. Bob. And really friendly guy. Asked about, how the bug situation, how bad the mosquitoes are, the fishing, and then camping. So camping, he goes, yeah, pretty much camp anywhere. He goes, camp around the river. There's really doesn't say you can't, so go ahead. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. That's pretty easy instruction. So we get there Friday, we set up camp. We go out. We really are not hitting anything, but on the way back, there was a local coming back, and he's like, yeah, I didn't catch anything. I was having trouble getting a bite, and we're like, good. This guy fishes this really often, and he got nothing, so we feel good. We got to kind of get the layout, and we came back, and we forgot wood for the fire, so we didn't have a fire. But we had plenty of other drinks and stuff, so we basically had a lantern. And I have not seen mosquitoes this big since I was in Alaska. Like, yeah, they had structure. So
carry you away.
I got this new chair for Noah's baseball games and whatnot. That has some mesh in the back and whatnot, and it's really a nice chair. It's not fancy, but I mean,
and they were drilling through.
They were drilling through the chair. My butt is bit up. My back is bit up, and it got ridiculous enough where he did bring a bigger tent because this is the only one he had. It's like a 6-person tent. So we went into the tent and we drank some water. And we talked, and then eventually went to bed. So the funny thing is we have a coworker, and we're talking about camping, obviously, just before heading out. And he's like, I've never gone camping, never thought about camping. I never met someone that actually went camping. And it kind of blew our minds a little bit. And he's like, what about wolves?
I can't even fathom
that. I
don't understand what you just said.
I couldn't fathom that he thought that. So we went through this whole gamut of questions and whatnot. And he's like, what about the wolves? And I'm like, well, there's no wolves here. But there's coyotes and other stuff to watch out for. And we kind of went down that path, and he was just kind of worried about, our safety, which is fair. So we get out there, going back to the night time frame. We're sitting there, we're drinking that nice cold water. And all of a sudden coyotes start howling around our area. You know what I'm saying? So, we howl, they stop.
Josh, you don't have to say water with us. You can say apple teeny. We all know.
With the finger up, pinky up. anyway, long story short, we hit the sack. They're still howling, so I just take a leak, further around the campsite, and as soon as I did that, they just stopped. I don't know if because there's so much Apatini in there, or if it was just what. But they stopped, went to bed. Slept pretty good. Temperature was great. Woke up early in the morning just as the fog's rolling off the water and the sun's rising. So like 5:30 ish. Got into my new kayak. Went out. A little tippier than I tend to like for a kayak, but I think I just got to get used to it. And then I have to do some adjustments, and it'll be a pretty good kayak. So go around, still not really catching anything. Got a couple of nibbles, but got back in. We run to the local store because we forgot live bait. So we buy some live bait. We get everything ready.
No firewood.
Yeah.
No live bait.
We were so worried about the whole camping situation that we forgot some things. Like I said, he forgot his tackle box. I didn't check my tackle box before I left, which was a mistake because the last time I used it, apparently he said, "Oh, I'll get that next time." So
is this river fishing or lake fishing?
It's a bunch of mines that were flooded and then stocked.
So it's not flowing water.
It's not necessarily flowing water, but they have it set up so there's like a series of lakes and then coverts that basically, when it overflows, flows into the next one. So they have a whole bunch. They have largemouth bass in their crappie. They have gar. They have carp. They have catfish. Pretty much a good roundabout amount of fish that you can catch, right? So
bobber fishing.
We use lures and stuff too. But long story short, we go out there. Mostly we use lures. We had some worms and stuff like that, but caught some largemouth bass. We're trying for a gar, but I think they're breeding, so they weren't really snapping anything unless they were in a certain area. I couldn't get any carp for some reason. We've seen them everywhere, and I'm talking about like two.
Do you eat carp?
I've never tried. I've heard you don't.
I don't know. They're kind of a dirty fish from what I understand, but keep going.
See, that's weird to me, and maybe it's a misunderstanding of carp. I don't know much about carp. I know about Asian carp. I know about what they eat and their habits and stuff. But like lobster, catfish,
right?
They're all like bottom eating shrimp.
Bottom feeders, yeah.
So I've never thought about eating a carp, but I'm curious on like why wouldn't you when the rest of the things that we consider delicacies and eat all the time,
Right.
So maybe we'll explore that, look that up, or maybe someone from our listening base will get a hold of me and go, "Don't do it," or "Yeah, it's absolutely great." Who knows? But long story short, we catch some fish, nothing huge. We had a good time. We got a lot of sun. And we get back because it's hitting about 11:30 noon and sun's getting pretty hot. So we get back and this old guy pops up and he's like, "Hey, can't really camp here. I know it doesn't say anything about you can't, but I'm not going to say you can. I'm not going to say you can't. Game warden might have a different opinion. Kind of leave it up to you. I'll be back. So if you're gone," it's probably very vague and this like undecided. So I'm like, "Well, I talked to Bob," and he goes, "Oh, Bob, okay." And he says, "Well, you can." He goes, "Yeah, anywhere downriver that's not primitive camping." Because, you said anywhere. So there's a parking lot and there's a picnic table and there's a grill and a bathroom. We set up camp right next to it. Why not? So we're like, okay, we'll break camp and then we'll go back out and finish fishing and then head home. Probably a good thing we did. So it got really hot. We were out there fishing, whatnot. We had a good time, but we were pretty dehydrated. Little did we know. We both came back and basically once we get back in AC, passed out and got some sleep and got rehydrated. But it was a good camping trip. A lot of lessons learned based on, the area, maybe call the DEC and figure out what we can and can't do. And, we definitely know what kind of bait to use this time around, what to get, what not to get. I stocked my tackle box with the stuff I was missing, organized it, and set up. I got a new pole, actually. I was going to one of Noah's baseball games, and one of the neighbors put out a brand new pole, looked like, on the side for, like, getting thrown out. So we stopped, and I grabbed that, and ready to go back out there. Have a game plan and whole nine, so.
Catch your supper and actually eat it.
Yeah, that's something I've done many, many times, and that was the plan too. We brought plenty of food, but it was just one of those things where the guy was being nice, and we didn't want to overstay our welcome, and we weren't sure which way he was leaning. So
this is private land that you're on.
It's state, I believe state. Yeah,
state. Okay, so it's public land.
Yeah, it was public.
Oh, okay. So, why did you care about the inclinations of this dude?
Well, it was just, trying not to, we want to come back, and we want not to raise any issues with guys running the property. So, and you're looking, he's trying to mow, and at that point in time, it seemed smarter to break camp, because we're going to go back, especially once I get a clear-cut answer. And if we can camp there, I might next time be like, hey, we got permission from the DEC, we got permission from Bob, and we're staying here. So, but it was just going out to see how it is, because we want to bring our kids out there, at 30 minutes away from our houses. I mean, that's great. We can go out there for afternoon.
So your woodworking this weekend was literally looking around for wood to burn.
Yeah, pretty much. Not so much woodworking, but it was definitely in the woods, and I got to play with some wood out there. But
there you go.
We were a lot of water moccasins. Like, we're sitting in the boat, and they're just swimming around us. And like,
oh gosh,
yeah, they weren't very big, but they were big enough where like I wouldn't put my hand in the water. That's how many we were seeing at some points.
Wow.
It was kind of impressive. So primitive camping along the waterbed was not going to be something we do down there. So,
okay.
But plans for in the shop, still moving forward with what I kind of discussed already. Just generating how I'm going to go about doing it. And then finishing up those projects that I do have to get out still. Talked to both clients, just told them, hey, look, it's just been busy. I'm getting them done. Hey guys, unless you have a due date in mind, I will get them done, and I'll give you progress updates. The shop is an absolute disaster. The first thing I need to do, go out there and clean it, get it in shape, and then basically get after it. It's one of those things where once I get after it, it will be so bad, knock them out. And then I have a slew of different things and projects I would like to get knocked out and start for stashing for products. So, and then maybe incorporate some of that 3D printing stuff that I've always wanted to do, and start learning some of the programs that I've always said, and jump into that. So this is not just for, giving myself a break from clientele. It's also from a basis of allowing me to learn more and giving me that time to do so. So if I don't need
building capability.
Exactly. So it's supposed to be about growth. I'm getting close to the end of my career in the Air Force, and I want to be able to know Fusion 360. I want to be able to do the things I've been, hitting at for a long time. And to do that, I might have to take a break from something I really like doing, but in a different way. I control the narrative a little bit more than someone saying, hey, you have a due date. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try it for a year. And if it works and we're doing well with that, I might just continue that. If I don't like it, I can always go back to the whole custom side of it. But this is going to let me to a lot of experimenting with different stuff and being able to create different medias and stuff like that, which allows me to, if I get back in the custom realm, which I'm still not going to end completely, offer more than what I have in the past. So, and I can always bring that back to here as well. And that allows me to kind of,
cool.
You know what I'm saying? It gives more content for the podcast. I do plan getting on social media again. It's been a nice break. But I do, I miss the chat. I miss different things. But I need to get a couple things leveled off first in the private life before I get back on there.
Right on.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening on my side of the coin here. Not much progress when it comes to the whole woodworking and, reportability here on the podcast. But things are definitely in work, and it's only going to be a better version of the shop later on because of it. So,
Mm-hmm.
But I hear that you have made some progress on your projects lately, and that little beauty onto your right. To your right.
Oh, my CNC, yeah. I know sometimes the camera gets clipped a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, most of this weekend I was feeling like absolute garbage. So as far as like making stuff, that just wasn't happening. But to your point, I was able to get Betty completely disassembled. If you look at that, it's down to the frame. You got the spoil board off. And then I'm going to be creating a different style of bottom spoil board, baseboard, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's going to have a couple extra features because the spoil board that I put on top of it, I want to be able to adjust it at the corners and at the centers of this thing so that when I trim it, if something's a little out of whack, I don't have to shift the gantry. I could just shift just the spoil board by loosening up a screw, adding a wedge, and then tightening it back up again. That's one thing I didn't realize was that I should have done the first time around. So, but live and learn. The second thing too is I'm going to be, before I put on the spoil board, I'm going to be putting in through holes on the bottom below the location of where all my T-nuts are going to, I'm sorry, not T-nuts, my threaded inserts are going to be, so that when sawdust falls in there, it falls all the way through and doesn't just get trapped on the bottom. Because that, every time the sawdust gets trapped on there, that was raising the bed and it was basically giving my spoil board on top like this giant arc. And that was really screwing with a lot of my Z heights. One of those things I didn't realize until I was literally at the point where I was just going to take it apart just to see. And sure enough, like when I finally took the spoil board off, I saw piles of sawdust underneath that. So like there was that one point at its worst was probably almost like 50 thousandths raised. Like it just got stuck under there. So that is a good reason to go with T-Tracks if that's your thing. But I'm stubborn. I really want to use T-nuts. I like the 2x2 grid pattern for clamping work down and for clamping fixture plates into certain areas. I think by having that grid work of threaded inserts, it adds a lot of stability as well as a lot of customization as far as, or not customizations, but like a lot more optionality when it comes to like how you're going to clamp your work down. So with a little bit of extra engineering, like I'm going to have a better baseboard solution going forward. But just taking this thing apart, it was really kind of cool. It was very zen, like really like uncoupling like all the electrical connections and blowing it down. Now, I even brought down the I have like a little pancake air compressor. I was like blowing stuff out left and right. I mean, she's disassembled, but she's spotless. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. But it was pretty therapeutic. I just put on some good music and I carefully took everything apart. You know what I mean? It was really great. I think in one of my stories too, I don't know if you saw, but like the little V wheels just had like crud like all up in those little, because like it's not just a straight V, it's like a V with like a channel at the bottom. Like it wants the sawdust to get stuck in there or like go down in there. Presumably maybe they assumed it's just going to fall out. No. But anyway, so I cleaned all the crap out of there. And then I scrubbed them all with like an old toothbrush I had, and now they look good. I mean, I put them back on. One of the V wheels, actually, I DM'd Nap about this. So, like on the side of the V wheel, like one side of it was just worn, and I don't know why. None of the other V wheels had that. So I don't know if it was just a bad V wheel or maybe it was. The one thing I thought of yesterday, Nap, was like it was loose and it was just kind of riding off to the side.
Could have been.
So I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. But like I said, I have all my pieces and parts in like muffin tins. So kind of because that's how I used to work on engines back in the day too. I had like little mini muffin tins that I would store bolts and stuff in. So like I can put this thing back together as I took it apart. So credit to my past education as an automotive guy. Turns out that degree was useful after all.
It's amazing how you can use
taking apart
your different background to, in the shop, different ways to help you with any kind of different processes you do.
Like I even allowed myself to be distracted for about a half hour trying to find like torque specs for the different bolts on this thing, but I just realized how ridiculous that actually was, and I just went back to work.
Nice.
But like I said, there was one bolt that I'm missing that I actually have to go out and buy. It's a M6 by 12 millimeter. But whatever. So like excuse me, the other thing I'm going to do too is like on the front section on these guys, I'm going to oversize these holes just a bit so that when I'm tramming, I get more adjustability. Like if this side is level and the other side is like riding high, I can lower it a bit to get them both riding at the same level so that they're both planar. When I put it together the first time, that was the first thing I noticed was like there wasn't a whole lot of movement available in there. So I'm only going to oversize the front holes, not the back holes, because there really is no point. Because like if it's off on one side, well, maybe I should do the back ones too. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Self-realized.
But I'm adding more adjustability to the machine because like I want to have that option where I can get it as flat as possible. But yeah, putting it back together, I'm going to really take my time on that too. But I can't take too much time because I have two projects in the queue. One is to finish up Ed's cribbage board, which I foolishly took off the CNC and took it apart instead of finishing it first. But it was getting to the point where it was just out of spec that much. I was afraid that I was actually going to ruin the surface finish of the cribbage board. So I made this. Sorry, Ed. I want your board to be good. It's going to be late, but it's coming. So yeah, like I said, just getting that back together. So that's the CNC project. The other project is like I'm finishing up the design for the girls, my daughter's loft beds. I'm putting both of their twin beds end to end in a loft with like a shelf in between and a divider up the side so they can have their privacy or whatever. But I also have to build in like shelves on the middle because like we got like these little baskets or buckets or whatever the heck they are. They got to put all their stuff in. Basically, I have to make it adaptable so they kind of can grow with them. Because as much as they might like their own room, sorry girls, they're staying in that room until they're 18 and they move out. So it's got to be adaptable. So I have to think about, like them growing up to the point until they move out. It's got to last that long. So like if maybe right now they want like toy shelves underneath, well, when they're older, they're going to get more value out of a desk. So I have to be able to take out the toy shelves and then put in a desk or something like that. So now we're considering, raising and lowering it at different points. There's a lot of stuff going on going into this, but the design itself has also got to be rock solid too, and it can't look like a dorm room. That's what I was told. It's not allowed to look like a college dorm room. Because hey, when you went to college, that's everybody had their beds all lofted up with just 2x and chains.
Well, I mean, fancy. Yeah, obviously not gonna do that, but like you can definitely make a shelf system that you can attach a desk to eventually if you do it right. I mean, like I'm coming up with ideas as you're speaking, just wondering for my own, if I ever do something like that for my kids. But yeah, it should be an interesting project, especially because you got the design, you got the CAD background, you can draw all that up and really sell it to them, pitch it to them, if you will.
It's funny you mentioned that because I actually at work for a little while. I was doodling around on SolidWorks and I actually drew up a concept. I don't know if it's gonna.
Yeah, right there again.
Yeah, there it is. So you kind of see in the middle, it's got the support between what will hold the two twin beds. but like I said, those shelves can come out in place of a desk. So like I said, it's going to be sturdy, but it's going to be modular. But it's not fine furniture either. That's not what I'm going for, and it's not what they need.
Yeah,
because we're going to let them paint it wherever the color they want. We're going to let them paint their walls whatever color they want. It's their room, So I don't know. I think that's going to be a pretty fun project. But right now, while I'm designing, they are supposed to be taking everything off the wall so that they can patch holes, clean off tape, so that we can paint it. At least get like a fresh coat on before I throw this thing in there. Because we haven't painted that room since we moved in back in May of 2015. So like since then, my oldest daughter has grown up in that room, and there's holes in the wall. So we gotta patch all the holes, get all the sticky tape off the walls and stuff like that, and then it'll be all hands on deck to get that room painted. But I think the construction of the thing isn't going to be more than like a few 2x8s, maybe 5 4x4s,
and a partridge in the pear tree.
Partridge in the pear tree, the cut list is not extensive. It's like I said, it's not a complex design.
Are you going to do plans so you can sell them?
I can, but it's somewhat specific.
Oh, you can.
Okay, but no. I take that back. So the average American twin-size mattress is 38 inches by 75 inches. This is designed to hold them end to end with like a 3/4 inch plywood panel in between them. So technically, yes, I could. So as long as your room, is 150 inches long, right? Or thereabouts, you can fit this bunk style loft bed, whatever, into that room. So yeah, technically I suppose I could.
I mean, it's worth it. Who knows? It might be more out there than you think.
Yeah, right. I mean, even if I sell it for $1, I don't really. Honestly, I've never sold plans before. Drawing it up isn't the issue. It's just where do you sell plans? I could do it on Etsy, I suppose.
Yeah, that's pretty much anywhere. I mean, every platform, social media wise, have a platform to sell. So, but I mean,
sure,
it's a way to test the market. It's like thundering out, and it sounds like Jurassic Park. When was it 2? Yeah, like where they're in the house and the kid's sleeping, and you hear the T-Rex coming. That's what it sounds like.
It's when you hear the freight train, Josh. That's what you.
No, I know. No, believe me, I know. I've lived in Arkansas and all bunch of different types of states, but
that's not a T-Rex, Josh.
All I can think of.
Train. Get to the basement.
We don't have a basement. I'm going to the closet.
Okay, no basement. That's
Yeah. I live in base housing.
I'm in the basement, so I'm safe. My family, however, they're doomed.
I'm just saying, or
actually, this podcast will be doomed because as soon as the tornado comes, they're going to have to come down here, and then I'm going to have guests on my podcast.
You hear that?
Is that AOL?
No, that's the base. I would get an alert right here on my phone or something here soon. Anywho, but yeah, I keep hearing this like boom, boom, like really deep, like the footprints in that movie, and it's just like I know there's no T-Rex out there, but like I'm waiting for my puppy that's outside to be like, yep.
Where's the goat?
But yeah, I guess there's some bad weather Tim and I are experiencing tonight, but hopefully nothing too crazy.
We had to bring all of our plants and saplings inside so they don't get wrecked by any heavy winds we may incur.
But
this is kind of a big weekend too because all 3 of my kids participated in lawn mowing. Even the twins, like they're 9 years old, both of them mowed a section of the lawn, and it was a big section. So our total mowing area is divided into 3 sections. Each kid takes a section, and it is beautiful. Now, here's the thing. Normally, if I mow the lawn just by myself, I can get it done in about 2 hours. We did not finish that lawn for like 4.5 hours.
Jeez.
But it was all right because now they're learning how to mow the lawn. I started mowing the lawn when I was 10, and we didn't have a self-propelled lawnmower at the time, so they should consider themselves lucky that this one has drive wheels on.
Nap and I have a yard that basically takes 5 minutes to go ahead and mow. I got a Ryobi like 10, 13 inch maybe electric one. I just plug in, and then I've actually let my son do it a couple times, and because it's so light and easy to maneuver. But yeah, if I do it, it probably takes a little bit longer because I go over pieces, make sure it's cut even. And oh, that's lightning.
I saw that.
I saw the lightning.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, you know what's even worse? In our cul-de-sac, there's a green area, and there's kids out there freaking playing ball. I just saw them basically run inside.
That's where those kids should be, doggone it. Playing outside.
Well, they should be out there, but this is natural selection at its finest.
You're not kidding. T-Rex is here.
Who's getting the first Darwin Award tonight?
Not my job. He's getting to bed here in a minute.
Last time we had a downpour, all three of my kids are running around like crazy people in the backyard. It was awesome.
Oh, don't get me wrong. When it's raining out, when not lightning and thunder, and the kids are up, we throw them outside. We love watching them playing in the rain and have a good time. Lightning and thunder, you come inside, though.
Well, it's not like they're golfing. I mean, come on.
It is what it is. I mean, like that last one was fairly close based on everything. And those kids are in the wide open in the middle of the houses. So,
oh yeah, that's what I'm talking
that's
about.
Living.
There.
That's growing up.
Maybe not.
If you could dodge lightning, you could dodge a ball.
You don't dodge lightning.
Lightning dodges you.
If you're lucky. But yeah,
if you're lucky.
So yeah.
But no, it was, like I said, it was a good weekend. We did a lot of stuff outside. We got the garden all tilled, and we got like the weed killer mats down on there. I don't know. It was a really cool outside weekend. We got a lot of projects done. Even though it felt like absolute crap, it was a good time with the family and kids.
Sometimes it's like that, man. You push through to have those good times.
Yeah. Okay, so now, what's going on? You're actually awake. What gives?
Well, the reason I'm so awake, sir, is because I'm just, full of life today. No, actually.
Well, I'm not wearing boots, man.
My boots. Knock it off.
Actually, you bullshit. Or, sorry, you're BSing, but not having my boots on is the greatest feeling in the world. Yes, I absolutely, after a while, wearing boots sucks. Like, when you're young and whatever, your feet are pretty resilient. And don't get me wrong, my feet are resilient now, but after a while, the feet start to build up calluses, and when you start hitting certain parts of your feet, it's like the most excruciating pain. We're not talking bunions here. We're talking just it's just in that one spot where when you hit it on something, it hurts. Or when you stand or step in a certain area, it hurts.
I feel like I need to correct you one part of that. Your feet are resilient. They're just broken in to the boot.
Okay, yeah, you might actually
you don't break the boots in, especially military issue. Your foot gets broken. Yes, pretty much. That's why they're all you ever see The Hobbit? That's pretty much our feet right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I got some insoles for my loading boots because that's when I do most of my moving. They work pretty good, but they're also older insoles. I probably should get new ones. I recycled from some other boots that I had, and I was like, oh, this will work.
I have 10-year-old insoles in my boots.
And listen, if they're the memory foam kind, they're perfectly formed to your foot, and it's it's perfect. However, if I got some newer ones, it'd be great. Actually, I might just stop being a cheap bastard and go get some. But no, so anyways, so with today, really we'll rewind. Yesterday, I put on our city Facebook page or base Facebook page or whatever. Hey, it's that time of year again. Mass Sergeant results are coming out. Make sure you get your promotion gift, whatever the case may be. Now, mind you, things got a little tighter with people not getting the list too early, and they only release your base's promotion numbers now. So we only got mine on stuff. So we didn't get to see everyone else's things until they released the actual list. But even then, the senior raiders didn't get the stuff because they typically get it early. They got it today. So people get notified a couple days early with the caveat that they don't go and post things on Facebook that they made it. But
oh shit,
it's only 2 days.
Hey, our sirens just went off.
But as far as like, it's only 2 days from now, and then the release will happen, and everyone can see who made it and whatnot. But so it didn't really start picking up till about noon, because that's when people started finding out, like when they made it. What's up?
Yeah, you're at the tornado sirens. They're going off.
I cannot, but I believe you. If we have a Twister event, Tim, it was nice knowing you, sir.
Hey, can you leave the camera on? I mean, not saying it's great content.
But no, so orders start rolling around noon. Now, mind you, there's a saying, right? And this sounds totally awful. But when you're dealing with customers and you want multiple people to come, you don't give an outrageous price. You just don't. Because if you do that, you're killing them. You're not, quote unquote, bleeding them, if you will. That's a term. I don't know if there's any other way you could put it.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure. I just can't think of it. That's
sticker
just
shock.
That's just there you go. That's kind of how I think of it, though. So I'm not gonna go and cut someone's wallet up with this heavy price. I'd rather do things in quantity and have people keep coming back, rather than here's this huge price, eat it, and then never get business again. So that's just kind of how I do business, with the bases and whatnot. So, I charge a decent price, nothing like too crazy, but nothing too low either, because my time is worth something. And I got, I think, what was it? 9 orders for stuff. Now, some of those orders are together. So like 4 go into one, they go to one person. That's not so great. So there's 4 for one, 2 for another. She's like, oh no! Oh, that was great.
This is going to be an interesting podcast.
Yeah. But no, so I chopped them up, and whatnot, and I'm, they're burning on the laser now. I'm waiting another like 20 minutes or so until this other one's done. I'm going to run out there and put another one on the laser. But realistically, lasers was taking the longest. Is about 30 minutes of burn. One of them is a little bit longer because they asked for a bigger black that I've made before, so it takes like 45 minutes. But realistically, the ops have been, I spray them, I put the logos, I sand, do all the things, and then actually I've been waking up in the morning a little earlier, and I've been putting on a wood wax that dries almost instantly after you've buffed it and wiped it off. It makes it super smooth and super awesome. It's from Bumbleshoots. Now, that's not just a shameless plug. Like, their stuff's pretty awesome. And I've been using it pretty much in every project the past couple of weeks. Very waterproof. What's that?
Tim.
Oh. And it's been great. I mean, I've enjoyed using this stuff, but also, and not to just also give another shameless plug, but I was looking through my email, when you're a part of like the product lines and stuff like that, you get emails about sales. Bumbleshoots is having a 22% off sale for Memorial Day weekend. So if you want to give their stuff a try, go ahead and give them a try and use, what is it, promo?
I've heard nothing but good things about Bumbleshoots.
They have good products, for sure.
People always say, like, Rubio is the best stuff. It may be, but I mean, there's no reason to avoid Bumbleshoots.
Also, owned and operated by veterans. So,
yep.
And the code for that is all caps Memorial Day 22, no spaces, and you'll get 22% off of your order. And that's everything. That's everything in shop. It says every product is 22% off. So that's pretty awesome.
Nice.
And then since I'm already talking about it, might as well hit up Yellow Friday as well. From one of our biggest sponsors, PWNCNC. Daniel over there is having his Yellow Friday sale. It's the opposite end of the Black Friday sale. I'm going to actually pull up the specifics, which I should have already had this open. I've seen it all over the book today. But I know that there's some things. Stand by.
If you are looking to get your a new rotary, or you're looking to get a new spindle, or if you're looking to get a ATC or even be capable for MTC, this is where you want to hit it, or you have to wait to the next sale.
So that sale.
Good.
I found it finally. Thank you for stalling for me. We can cut it out. Cut the other BS out of me trying to talk through it. But PWNCC is having Yellow Friday sale, 1-day sale only, May 24th from 12 to 12, so midnight to midnight, essentially. $200 off all ATC systems, okay? $100 off ATC upgrade. So let's say you have Daniel's spindle kits already and you just want to upgrade to the ATC. You can actually get $100 off the upgrade path, which is pretty awesome. And then all the other spindle sets. So if you're not looking for an ATC and you're not quite there yet, don't have a Mazzo to run the ATC, and you don't necessarily run an MTC, you can get his regular spindle kits at 20% off, which is pretty outstanding, not going to lie. And then also everything else will be 20% off. So his dust boots, his accessories, all the things that he has in his store will be 20% off. So make sure you take a visit over at www.pwncnc.com. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, but with this sale, you don't just own your CNC, you dominate it. But anyways, back to your regularly scheduled podcast episode. So I talked a little bit about the finishes I use from Bumbleshoots and whatnot, but that's been kind of a go-to after I use lacquer. So I've learned, and I learned from everybody, okay? Now, a different product was used when this individual used it by Daniel Dunlap, okay? I forget his handle off the top of my head, but people know who Daniel Dunlap is.
Daniel Dunlap Woodworks?
Yes, that guy. And he had
the Dunlap.
He had a lacquer that clouds up. Now I've had this happen too.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, okay, yeah, I'm interested. Like, this speaks to me.
You have my attention.
Yes. So he used Bumbleshoot's wood serum to fix that. Now I actually used the wood wax to do the same. It essentially just fills in the pores and clears up that finish for you. And the best part of it is lacquer is great, but when you put that wood wax on there or wood serum on there, it actually makes it even more water resistant, if not proof, than it already was. Because as soon as water hits it, and I tested this by accident in the rain today, it beads up and it rolls right off. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I'm actually going to be using it more and more, I think, with some of my other projects like shadow boxes, things like that, because I just think it'd be beneficial.
How's it handled in like outdoor settings, direct sunlight, and all that other
Haven't done that yet. I think I might even do a test where I'll take a piece of wood, I'll finish it in lacquer, and then put the wood finish on there, and then I'll just leave it outside. Because it's been raining like crazy here, so I'm sure it's a really good time to test that. And I'll let you know. I'll report back and let you know how it lasts. Now, mind you, a couple days versus years, like Josh's sign that he finished with Halcyon that looks still brand new. Very different tests, but you can kind of grasp, what might actually happen over time. So there's that with those off the cuff. Like I'm getting these plaques done right now, due tomorrow morning / afternoon, and then I'll deliver those. And then I got the 2 shadow boxes. The Coast Guard shadow box is giving me a run for my money. I goofed, so I cut the front out. I did the thing. I cut the glass dado out, but I also did the what the hell are they called? The bow ties. Problem was it was not completely centered. So the bow ties are a little off, if you will. So like one bow tie is a little further up this way, one bow tie is a little closer this way, and that's okay. But now I have to use my hand routing skills. Well, one of them looks a little squirrely. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to rectify that, or if I'm just going to recut the piece and then redo the bow tie. Or I might just fill them in with black epoxy. Like I'll make them a little thinner, a little shallower. I'll glue them in and everything, and then I'll fill it with black epoxy. So that way it's just a solid black epoxy piece. Not really sure yet. Trying to figure out what that's going to look like. I'll probably talk to the customer about it. Be like, hey man, this is on the back. This is just to attach these anchors. What do you think? If he wants me to redo it, I'll redo it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, walnut's not necessarily cheap here, so I'm really trying not to redo it. So there's that. But either way, that's in works. The acrylic bulldog sign is almost done. I oopsed when I ordered my maker stock acrylics. I ordered the wrong cart because I built the cart twice and I was in the wrong tab, and I accidentally ordered double of 2 different colors and didn't get some other colors in, so I had to order some more. So those colors are on their way. They should be here this Saturday, leaving a ship date of Monday, which is fine. The customer understood, like, yeah, okay, it's fine, no worries. They know it's getting done because I showed them updates of it.
Sure.
Then I got that Mass Sergeant shadow box that was half built that I've yet to touch. I'm actually probably after this episode, I'm going to go out in the shop, put a chamfer on it, sand it, and then I'm going to go ahead and stain it so that way it can sit for a night or 2. Let it dry, hit it with lacquer, and then do the stripes, and then get it prepared for the backer and the felt and all that stuff. But realistically speaking, that's like really all the projects other than the random Red Bull can I'm got to make out of cherry wood. It's weird. It's a
There's
Red Bull.
always that one project.
It's a Red Bull
curveball.
it's a flat 2D Red Bull can plaque that's got some words on it and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm gonna make
Those
that
are
too.
Fun. Are you gonna? I did one for Loco, one for the military working dogs.
Yeah.
Well, I did it with acrylic. Are you going to be doing with different types of wood or just engraved or
straight cherry? Because their budget was not what you call great.
Okay, so engraved.
Yes. No, they gave me $100 budget, right? And that's before shipping. And I told them, hey, man, after shipping, it's going to be X amount, because as it is, I'm already customizing this plaque. I'm already going to design it. I'm going to do all these things. That takes time. Time is money. And if you thought you were getting a plaque like this under $100 with shipping, you're crazy.
You're tripping.
A matter of fact, I'm already squeezing the pennies for this anyways. But this is one of those jobs where you go look in the old pile of cutoffs and figure out which one's going to match the project. Because I'm not going to cut a perfectly good piece of S2S or S3S or whatever you want to call it wood for a plaque that I have possibly the perfect size in the old scrap pile.
And that's why you keep all your cutoffs. All
yes. And by the way, folks, scraps aren't really scraps. Typically, they're always in use for something that comes off of any offcut. Unless, of course, it's like the size of like a 32nd, which at that point it's just sawdust and part of
or
a piece
you
of
just
wood.
do one of those vomit chaos cutting board things.
I've wanted to do one of those, man. I don't have the patience for that shit. Like, I just don't.
That's the thing. Like, you don't need patience. Like, all these little scraps, you just squish them all together, you glue them, and then you wait. You get another stick of glued up scraps, you glue them, and then you wait. Then one day, you just zip, 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 glue it all together, and whammo, there's a cutting board.
Hey, look, 25 minutes is already up. That's crazy. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. Stall for like 2 minutes while I go check this, and I have a story to tell about some stitches I may or may not have gotten.
What about shipping?
Well, you go check that. I will tell a story about the stitches that are forthcoming for me.
What did you say, shipping, Josh?
Wasn't there a shipping story, or are we saving that for another day?
I got 2 stories then. Yes, I'll tell both those, but stall for me for like 2 to 3 minutes. Right back.
Nab needs a quick nap. He'll be right back.
Thumbs on the way, dude!
So, Friday... I have a family friend, my godfather. He is suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, something in between, and he hasn't been in his wood shop in over a year. So, my godmother has said, "Look, I would like you to come and pick up his jointer. Like we want to give that to you. Now it does need a little tuning, whatever." I said, "Sure, that's fine."
Mm-hmm.
What I read out of that is, I need this out of the house. I need this out of the basement, but he can't really see, so we had to do like this little plan of serendipity to get it out of there when he wasn't home. Anyway, so I picked this thing up. I mean, this joiner, it is a 1950s, 60s. I mean, it's an old joiner, and like it's cast iron, and like me, my dad, my brother-in-law, we were just humping this thing upstairs, man. Like, why is this heavy stuff always in the basement?
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it's. Ask Luke at Man-Made Machine. Why is it always in a basement? Well, anyway, so I get this thing out. We get it loaded up, and I get it in the car. Or I should say the back of the truck. We get it covered with a tarp. So we're good to go. So I get it home. I get it down. And I'm starting to take a look at this thing. It's like I said, it's a belt-driven joiner. It's 3 blades and stuff like that. So like it needs a little bit of tuning, but the motor sounds good. I'm really looking forward to like starting to put some wood through this thing. I finally have a joiner, and it came from a great place. You know what I mean? So I really hope that this thing works out for me. Now I've never used joiners in the first place. Now I've used somebody else's joiner, and he had a helical head and stuff like that. But this joiner, it's just 3 straight blades. Is that kind of like what you guys have? Do you have? Are you using joiners?
I have the DeWalt box lunch one. I forget what model off the top of my head, but yeah, it has the straight blades on it.
Well, that's a planer. I'm talking a joiner.
A joiner, yes. Oh, sorry. Going back to what you were saying. Yeah, I have joiner. It doesn't have helical head. Straight blades have never been sharpened by me because honestly, they haven't. They probably need it, but it hasn't operated in such a way where I've needed or felt like I needed to.
Okay.
But I mean, I'd like to do the upgrade someday to the helical head, but I'm not sure if I need a bigger one or I should do the upgrade because they're kind of. If I do the upgrade, I'm not going to get a new one for a very long time. If I get a new one, obviously I don't need to do that upgrade. But is it going to be possible? Can you still get your blades, or you're going to have to manually sharpen these because it's so old? Or?
I don't know. I still have some research to do. This thing is it says Delta Milwaukee on it. So I'm like
Delta Milwaukee. They were like they were the same company as something.
Apparently.
Maybe
Milwaukee sold Delta. Now I have to look it up. But yeah, I mean, this thing, it's got a serial number plate, the whole 9 yards. It is cast iron, and it just looks good. It feels solid. Obviously, we had to haul this thing out of a basement, but it's a 6-inch jointer. And just rotating the cutting head around, everything feels balanced. Nothing feels out of place or anything like that. But the base of it, he had made the base for it. It's got like 3 drawers in it and stuff like that. And like I said, the motor is just on a pivot, but it's just a gravity tensioner, and that's what runs the jointer. And like you said, the belt still feels decent too. So I don't know. She said it needed some tuning, but I don't know what that means because I didn't really get a chance to play with it.
Does she know a lot about the equipment, or does she assume to need tuning because it's so old?
Well, I think she assumed it needed tuning because when she turned it on, it didn't run. She heard a hum, but it didn't run. But when we got home, we just found out that the belt was just off the motor.
So that's her tuning, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. So, I mean, again, I still gotta throw some wood through this thing, but I'm excited because I finally have my own jointer now.
So I looked it up real quick about the Delta history, and I want to save time for Nap's story, but Delta traces his roots back to Delta Specialty Company, founded by Herbert Touts in 1919 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Based in the Taos garage, Delta Specialty Company thrived, first making small tools for home shops and later expanding into light industrial machinery. In 1945, Rockwell Manufacturing Company acquired Delta Machinery and renamed it Delta Power, tool division of Rockwell Manufacturing Company.
So this thing is 1945 or older.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So quick thing, in 1966, Rockwell invented the world's first miter saw. In 1981, Rockwell's Power Tool Group was acquired by Pentire and rebranded Delta Machinery. In 2004, Pentire Tool Group was acquired by Black & Decker. And then now it's owned in 2011, but owned by Taiwan-based Chang Type Industrial Co. So,
well, all over this jointer, it is pristine. There's one corner where there's just a tiny bit of rust pitting. The rest of it,
that's impressive.
He took care of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I too am going to absolutely take care of it. Hey, Victor.
So yeah, you have a piece of history sitting in your garage now.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful to have it, and especially regarding the the source that I got it from. But yeah, all right, Naparoonie.
2 stories.
2 stories. Story 1.
Shipping.
Shipping.
So, long story short, and this will be a short story because I'm sure people are tired of hearing shipping stories. But I did ship something that was rather large, and I marked heavy. I marked do not stack. I marked do not drop. All of the things. I put insurance on it. I do it all the time now with Shippo.com. It's amazing, and I'll tell you why momentarily. And these assholes, these people, dropped or drop kicked it out of the back of the U-Haul truck, and they damaged it in 2 or 3 different areas. Now, luckily, I have pictures of the packaging, pictures of the damage to the packaging, pictures of the damage to the item itself. Luckily, it was all exterior damage, so fixable by the customer because they're makers as well. They just don't do woodworking as often. But I said, hey, man, if you can fix it up, cool, awesome. And he's like, yeah, if you can get your money back, that'd be great, type thing. Like, he didn't ask me for a refund, mind you. He just said, if you can get your money back for shipping, I would, because this is, it's not your fault. It's theirs. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, the insurance that's covered by Shippo is amazing because no matter the types of pictures I've sent with the damage to the images or to the items, they have refunded me both times. And both times were over $500. And they did it within a day. So, like, I don't know what UPS is doing, where their head is lodged, if it's so far up their freaking colon that, they can't understand logic and what pictures show. Like, oh, well, you didn't package it right. Oh, okay. Yeah, the freaking 20 pounds of bubble wrap and other things that I put in there don't suffice as proper packaging. So UPS, you can take notes from people that actually know logic and maybe fulfill some of those things in the insurance claims. Because just because your asshole people don't pack it doesn't mean it's not valid. And hey, by the way, I know people that have packed at your places, and and things have still gotten damaged, and you still didn't refund money in some cases. So take notes, and I hope you listen to this episode because you don't know me and I don't care.
Package it.
So this proves my theory. If you mark it fragile, do not drop, whatever, you're going to get something wrong with it. Next time, as an experiment, because you're going to be shipping more than me right now, don't mark it. And I guarantee I would put Tim's money on this, that we get there safe and sound.
Well, I will never do that because shadow boxes are way too expensive, and I'm not.
Why?
This was a coin rack, thankfully, but
they get there beat up anyway.
But regardless, Shippo.com, folks. I don't know what it is about their insurance company. The insurance company they use.
Would you recommend that over Pirate Ship?
Yes, actually, because the customer that I sent it to uses Pirate Ship for his metal design artwork. They do not.
That's right.
They do not reimburse for overnight stuff not being delivered on time. They haven't reimbursed him for damages and things like that. So personally, Shippo.com, it's been real good. They use X-Cover insurance. I literally submitted. I did the claim in like 5 minutes, and I got we got pretty much all my money back, like all his money plus a little bit for shipping. So, which I thought was pretty awesome. Okay, so that's story one. Story two is of a funny nature. I'm an idiot. We're just gonna put it at that. Well, in hindsight, I'm an idiot, but why this happened was because of my cat. So my cat likes to, she might be kind of sick, so I'm getting her, seen and whatnot here soon. But she's been peeing on my couches lately, and it irritates the ever-living hell out of me.
As it probably should.
Yeah. So we put, the stain remover stuff on there, did all the things, to get, pet stuff out of couches. Well, it was on the recliners. The recliners, after we spray them, instead of leaving the moisture trapped between the cushions, we opened them up so they could air out, and it would dry faster. Well, I was sitting between those two recliners on the ground with my son Asher, playing around, whatever, cool. About 20 minutes goes by. I say, hey, take him. I got to get up. I got to go out to the shop and do some stuff. Well, that's when the day took a turn for the worst. So I, in my infinite wisdom, put my hand on both recliners and went to stand up. I stood up, and I don't know how I stood up and in what fashion, but somehow my left leg ended up under the left couch. I found the one jagged edge on the bottom of this recliner, and I split my leg open. Now, mind you, I hit it. Stitches, yes, getting there. And I hit it. The wife laughed at me because she thought I just hit a funny bone. And no, when you hit something, you just know. You're like, oh, that's bad. like in my head, I was like, first it was a, oh, God damn it. And then it was a, that was bad. And then she's laughing and I go, no, babe, this one's bad. Haven't even seen it yet. I sat back down on my butt and looked down and go, oh, yeah, that's good. It was a 1-inch gash that was about maybe between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch deep. I tried to butterfly it with the little butterfly suture deals. No. I was like, we're going to hospital. I need stitches.
That's when you take the lighter.
Super glue.
No, not even that. I've done that before, and things have gone wrong with that. So I just going to the hospital. So I went to the walk-in clinic. Got stitched up, 7 stitches. They did 7 actual stitches, not dissolvables, because there's a lot of movement. It's right above my left knee, so a lot of bending. Okay. But funny thing is, and by the way, folks, I don't care what your wife says. I don't. You know why? Because she yells at me for not going to the hospital and not getting actual medical help. But the minute I say, I need to go get fucking stitches, she's in my ass about it. And yes, this is an unrated version. I don't care. It adds to the story. She's in my ass about, yeah, you went to the hospital. Like, yeah, because you literally just yelled at me like weeks ago for not going to the hospital to get something fixed. So either do it the right way or you shut your mouth.
You have free medical care. Go get it done.
And that's I think why she got mad at me before. And now I actually did it, and then she still got mad at me because I ended up.
There's no winning, man.
You were doomed.
You should know this right now. You will not win, no matter what. You can listen. You're not going to win. You cannot listen, and you're not going to win. So just go in it with the notion of I'm not going to win this, no matter what, and you'll be okay.
End all be all is this though. Happy she took me to the hospital. I was in and out like an hour, not even.
That's not bad.
Because it was the walk-in clinic. It was an emergency. I wasn't dying or anything like that. So walk-in clinic here is pretty awesome. Yeah,
you could have done the stitches yourself. Little IPA on that guy.
No. See, Tim, I'm not certified on this thing, so I'm not gonna do that. And no flatline bandages for this one. I'll send you a picture, Josh. You'll think it's nice.
I like pictures.
I still need to do my 978 for that.
Yes, you do. I want to actually. Can you courtesy copy?
Back in my day,
I just might.
We'd wrap it in bark. We were grateful.
Well, typically everything I've damaged on my body has been wrapped in either painter's tape and paper towels or duct tape.
Yep.
So this one, not so much. There's pieces of the body that you can kind of get by doing that. Fingers mostly, not in the meat of your quad, right above your left kneecap. That's just not going to happen. Not my job anyways. But I digress. That's my 2 stories for the day. And I think it's a good way to maybe end the episode with a bunch of...
It's a hell of a spicy button.
I don't know if we can stitch it together, but maybe we should slice it and dice it. And have
You tried.
I did. I really did.
You dribbled and lost the ball.
I was going in the right direction.
Instead of putting a bow on it, let's put a couple stitches in it, and we'll get back to it next time.
Okay.
But seriously, though, it was an interesting week, and I think it is about time to wrap this up because I got stuff to do in the shop, and I don't know what you guys are doing, but I got busy. I got things to do.
Hey, so this weekend coming up is Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
Guys, make sure you spend time with the families, man. 'Cause I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's a 4-day weekend, so I'm gonna celebrate it.
Hey, and real quick, folks. So for those that are military listening to us out there, and those that aren't, I just want to explain something to you. And no, we don't take offense to it. Okay, I just say thank you very much and move on. Rick, I'm not going to be an asshole about it because that's just not the way I am. You're trying to be respectful to the military, and I appreciate it. Okay, but Veterans Day. Veterans Day is for folks that have retired from the military or have served in the military and were discharged honorably. Those are your veterans. Okay, and then Armed Forces Service Day is for those that are currently and actively serving in the military. Memorial Day is for those that we've lost. Okay, so this one for some folks is different for others. Many folks that have served on the actual battlefield will feel differently about this one. Folks that have lost friends while in that aren't necessarily battlefield airmen, but have dealt with things in that capacity will feel some sort of way. And then some folks that are brand new to the military, they won't really get it because maybe they haven't had a close friend in the military past, but they still understand what it means to remember somebody. So that's what this is for. That's what Memorial Day is for. That's to remember those that have served with us, who have passed on either through combat, through old age, whatever the case may be, through sudden incidents. But we remember them. So this episode, although brought to you by our sponsors, this one's for those that are no longer with us. So cheers until see you again, till Valhalla. And yeah. So And on that, I think we can probably wrap that up just on that, boys.
I agree.
I dig it, man.
So thank you, patrons. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And we will see you next time on the Sawdust Nation podcast. Sawdust Nation podcast.
Sawdust Nation.
Out.